What's up, everyone? I'm CEO Connolly, and today I'm going to be talking to you about friendly misfortunes. So, like I said in my last video, there's an underlying story to every single one of my books that is basically real life, right? Sorry, I keep looking out my window. So you can equate everything that is in my books to real life. And with Friendly Misfortunes, it is legit. You don't know who people are in your life, even people who used to be in your life, like ex-boyfriends. So I'm going to tell you a little story. Okay. I'll tell you a little story. So I had in high school, it's way back in the 90s. So back in high school, there was a guy, played in a band, of course. He played the bass. It was like, okay. Bass guitar, by the way. It was a bass guitar. He was like in one of those garage bands, no big deal. It wasn't even like that big a deal. They didn't even play shows or anything. They literally just played in the garage. But anyway, so this guy was somebody I had met when I was working at a grocery store, and because he didn't go to the same school I did. It was just something I had met, or somebody I'd met at the grocery store that I worked at. So, we got to see each other at work, and that was it. That was all that we ever had, right? And I don't know, it was high school, blah, blah, blah. Who cares, right? At some point we broke up and I was like, okay, fine, no big deal. And then I started dating a different guy and he got upset. So he had a friend drive him over to my house while he was drunk, apparently. And he decided to duct tape something to the windshield of my car. Turned out to be some kind of explosive, and it blew a hole in the windshield of my car. And the screen window, or the screen on the window in my parents' house had the upstairs window. So it had torn that screen. And of course I woke up my parents because their bedroom was cars parked in the garage, or not in the garage, but out in front of the garage on the driveway. And their bedroom is right on the other side of the garage. So of course they hear this and they come out and they're like, what's going on? You hear the explosion. Of course, some of the neighbors came out too. It was a whole thing. And I understand how crazy this sounds. I really do, because every time I tell this story, I always think this sounds like I made it up. It really does. Like, who the hell in high school has a dude come over to their house and blow up their car? Granted, it was just a little golf ball size hole in the windshield of the car. Whatever. Bomb squad comes out, checks to make sure there wasn't any more bombs on the car. Anyway, so I had to get the windshield replaced in my car. Great. Okay. As a matter of fact, I have a picture of that car. Not with a hole in it, by the way. This is after an accident, but I do have a picture of that car. This was after an accident I had. Yep. So that is the car, and that car does not exist anymore. I'm willing to guarantee they scrapped it for parts. That car does not exist. 1988 Acura Integra. I got it in 1998, so it was 10 years old. By the time we traded it in, it was 11 years old, and the dealership was like, yeah, we'll give you $150 for it. Anyway, yes, that was after an accident, but that is the car that the guy strapped the explosive to the windshield of the car. And I always had this thing when I was in high school. I always had this thing where technically, okay, if you've read any of my books, you would understand why I do this. Okay. So any of the boyfriends that I had, if they had a driver's license and it expired and they were like, oh, I got to get a new license, I was like, oh, can I have your expired one? I just want to have it with me. And they always gave it to me. Not kidding. They always gave me their expired driver's license thinking, oh, this is so sweet. No, it's because it has your address on it and all your information that the police need if you do something stupid. So let me tell you, when the police asked, do you have any idea who you think would do this? And I was like, sure do. Here's the driver's license. Now the police kind of look at you crazy when you hand them a driver's license, and they go, why do you have this? And I go, because it's expired and people are crazy. So when I go, oh, can I have your expired driver's license? They just give it to me because it doesn't matter to them. It's expired. It doesn't do anything for them, and they don't see anything wrong with giving me their expired driver's license. And the officer was like, okay. And I said, so, and it's literally for purposes like this, because I just assume everyone's crazy and everybody is going to do something and nobody actually knows. But if you have that and your body is found and then the police go through your room, they actually have the driver's license, the expired driver's license of an ex-boyfriend or whatever that you just happen to have with you in your room. And now they're like, oh, let's go check on this person, because now they have all that information. It's not somebody that anybody in your life is probably thinking about, but because you have the wherewithal to actually get that expired driver's license that has all their information on it, that's how you get the cops. That's how you get the cops involved. Make sure that you have something that proves. Don't let them go through your diaries. Don't let them go through all your journals and all that other stuff. No. Because all my stuff was locked up anyway. They'd have to break in. No, make sure you have that expired driver's license, because that gives you all that information. And I'm sorry, but women, we really need to be a little bit more vigilant into the crazies that are out there. Am I right? Otherwise, you could be getting taxidermied. I'm just saying. Do you see how my crazy life has basically just overflowed into the crazies that I write about? I mean, seriously, the book that I'm writing right now, there are like crazy things happening. So, Anyway, don't turn into a taxidermy victim. Make sure that you know who these guys are. Doesn't matter that you're in high school. Get their expired driver's licenses. Even if you're just dating, find out if you can make sure they have a picture of them. If you know what their address is, write that address on the back of that picture. Have that picture printed out. Not just on your phone, because that can be deleted. Okay? Get a picture and print it out and write their information on the back of that picture. Because you never know when the police have to go through your house and then they have to figure out, okay, well, who would want this person dead? Why would they want this person dead? Oh, look, here's a picture. Oh, there's information on the back. Let's go find this person. I'm just saying, you don't want to end up being a taxidermied victim. Living in the house of your ex-boyfriend, cooking in the kitchen, even though you're dead, now you're his kitchen bitch. I don't know. I'm just saying. Make sure you know who your friends are too, because you don't want to be just two random dudes taxidermied on a sofa who are pretending to watch TV because you're dead and there's nothing else you can do. I mean, I'm just saying. So anyway, make sure you know who the people are around you. Make sure that no matter what, you have information for someone you believe might be crazy. And this goes for the men too, because I know bitches be crazy. I'm just saying. I know that. Make sure your girl would probably think, oh, baby, can I have one of your expired driver's licenses? Oh my goodness, so cute. No, that's in case you go nuts on me. I need something to show the police so they have your information. There it is. So anyway, yeah. I don't know why that would have happened. Like, I didn't think I was that cool in high school. Really did not. I thought I was kind of I was always the designated driver and the sober one at every party. And as my friends were drinking and getting drunk and vomiting on themselves, I was taking care of all of that. So I didn't think I was that cool to begin with, for people to want to, get upset because I started dating a different dude. And it was like, I'm going to go blow up this bitch's car. Yeah, no. Anyway, it was always so much easier when I told that story. And then you go and you see those holes in the screen up there at that window. That's where the it was so much easier to tell that story when you're at the house and you can actually explain that. And then you got your parents there corroborating the story. Oh, and he ended up on probation for 5 years, which he ended up, what is it? Like, not retaining to the restraining order because he wasn't supposed to be within 500 feet of me or my home or my place of work. And he would purposely sit outside my house. There were a couple of times where I was at a friend's house and I could see him I was at her, she lived in an apartment. So we were at the apartment. I could see his vehicle on the other side of the gate too. So there were several times where that happened. And of course, whenever I was like, oh, that's him, my friend was like, do I need to call the cops? And I was like, well, he's not doing anything. He's just sitting in his car. I don't care. And I understand that he wasn't, abiding by the restraining order or whatever, but I didn't see him as a violent person, even though he blew up my car. But I don't know. Anyway, yeah, so I guess I'll see you on the next one. Leave some comments below by anything that crazy has ever happened to you that sounds like a made-up story, because I really want to know. I know that I'm not the only one who's had shit happen to me where it sounds like, it's just made up. Because that's probably one of the craziest things that's ever happened to me that sounds made up every time I tell that story. I literally feel like it's made up every time I tell that story, and it happened to me. So yeah, leave it in the comments below. I want to know what the craziest thing ever happened to you of someone that you were dating. I don't care if it's a guy, a girl, whatever. I want to know. Tell me in the comments below what kind of crazy shit has ever happened to you while you were dating a person or not dating a person, like an ex or something crazy. That's what I want to know. Okay, that's it. Okay, bye.